New on Curiosity Stream. She was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with a dedicated row of solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Hey, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we chose 54-year-old Asif Raja of Queens, New York. Now, I am not an arsonist, perhaps kidnapper, but not an arsonist, so I don't know the do's and don'ts of a successful arson. But I think I could do better than Asif here. See, he owns a restaurant, but he's losing money hand over fist because of the COVID restrictions. We all understand that. But he decided to get out of the business and collect that sweet, sweet insurance money. Now, the plan, as you already guessed it, was to burn the place to the ground. But more importantly than just burning it down, also not getting caught. But since I have his name, you know that he failed. Now, he failed to both of these things. He set fires in several locations inside of the restaurant, places he thought for sure would go up in flames. But he either forgot that he paid to install the sprinkler system or he thought that he paid for something that did not work. So the sprinklers, they popped on. They did exactly what they're designed to do, and they put out the fires that he was trying to start. He still kept attempting. The sprinklers would pop on. They extinguished everything. So finally, he just gave up. But when authorities showed up to investigate, they discovered that our hero also forgot that he had paid to install a video security system. So authorities watched the film, and they arrested him for arson.
Oh, my God.
This guy specifically paid for both the sprinklers. Like, he didn't buy it this way. He installed the sprinkler system. He installed video surveillance and then tried to burn the place down, but the sprinklers he bought put out the fire. They work, by the way. And then the security system works because the authorities are like, you've got to be kidding.
What a moron.
He is as dumb as it gets. And now he's in jail. But we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bijola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Justin. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. All right, Justin, you understand how this here game is played?
Sure do, Thrill.
That is fantastic. So as you know, you have a choice of one of three stories. We have The Wonderful World of Drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Mr. Montgomery, what are you thinking?
I want to hear Interior Decorating so I can dance.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, yeah. Boogie in your butt. All right, Justin, here is your story. In this case, it is not involving a butt, but involving a penis. A curious prepubescent boy who stuffed something into his urethra is recovering after a 2-hour surgery to remove it. This happened over in China, where urologists at a children's hospital, they were startled after examining the 11-year-old boy who complained of a belly ache, because only children say they have a belly ache. Anyway, an x-ray showed something had made its way down the boy's urethra and into his bladder. Ooh. The boy was finally coaxed into admitting that he, in fact, had inserted that something that they found on the x-ray, and using minimally invasive surgery, they inserted a cystoscope into the boy's abdomen to remove the obstruction. The doctor said, hey, every year he treats several boys that are curious about their changing bodies, as he said, and inserts different objects into it. I will not share that list of objects because it is very disturbing. However, I will ask you, what do you think this kid inserted into his urethra that got him to the hospital? Was it a Q-tip, marbles, wire, or a pencil? So Q-tip, marbles, wire, or a pencil. One of these things went into the worst place to go.
Oh, man. I'm kind of leaning marbles just because I think that's outrageous. Not like all of them are outrageous, but geez.
And how old was dude?
They do not give his age, but they say prepubescent.
Yeah, that's
Right,
young.
so it's a small kid.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm going smaller on the diameter of this thing. I think I'm going to go Q-tip. Something that would be in your house. I was going to go Q-tip or pencil. I just don't think. I think a marble would be. It would be impressive, but I just don't think you could do it. I don't think I could do it as a grown man. So I don't know how he could, unless they're really teeny tiny.
How do you know until you try, Miles?
I mean, BBs maybe, but wires. I'm going to go Q-tip.
And they got it?
They get it out, yeah. When the kid went in and said he has a belly ache, they did the x-ray. They're like, that's the problem. The kid finally admits, all right, I am responsible for what you're seeing. 2-hour surgery. Get it done.
I mean, I think just because it's a kid, I want to lean marbles or a pencil. Do kids still play with marbles?
I don't.
This is China, so I'm not sure. I don't even pay attention to kids in my house.
I don't know what my kids are doing.
Pick it up.
In the summertime, do your kids ever say, hey, Dad, we're going outside to play marbles?
I say, you wait until after we skip jacks.
Mm-hmm.
They got them Chinese checkers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sure. Justin, what do you think?
I'll meet you by the bumper pool.
Oh, since diameter-wise, you're probably right. Yeah, let's go ahead and go Q-tip because that seems more likely.
I'm going to go pencil.
Pencil.
This makes me so uncomfortable.
Okay, we're going to find out what this kid put up there. Was it a Q-tip, marbles, wire, or a pencil next?
That was a tease.
New on Curiosity Stream, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on The Spy Who Stole the Atom Bomb. And
What if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
Hey, all of it, Cholas, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you had been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Interior decorating is the subject today on Profile This. We've got a young child in China doing a little exploring with his body parts.
If you want to call it that.
He decided to jam something up his urethra. He didn't admit to it at first.
No.
But either way, they had to do like an abdominal surgery thing to, what happened to the boogie in your butt? To get it out of there. So basically, he finally admitted to putting something up there. Was it a Q-tip, marbles, a wire, or a pencil?
And Justin, that is the very question that we posed to you. Now, Ted, let's start with you. You said a pencil. You
Pencil!
Sick son of a bitch.
Pencil!
No, he did not put a pencil in his urethra. And Justin, you agreed with Miles, said Q-tip. Oh, I'm sorry. It was not a Q-tip. It was, in fact, marbles.
Wow.
It was marbles.
Say smaller marbles. But
Okay.
still, he put 70 of them.
70?
70. He put 70 smaller marbles in his. He wasn't good with just one.
Oh, my
Not
God.
just two. He put 70 in there, but they rolled into his bladder, caused the quote-unquote bellyache, did the surgery. So I love the fact that they're like, hey, son, we're looking at the x-ray. There's marbles in your bladder. Was that you? No, son. There's 70 marbles in your bladder. Okay, I did it.
Yeah, who else did it?
Yeah, I mean, who else put marbles in your penis?
I mean,
that's impressive.
that's just got to be a kid just being an idiot, right?
That's still the last one I pick.
I know.
Still the last one I pick. Now, for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Tim.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right. You could have Seth
Meyers.
Jimmy Kimmel,
Okay.
Jimmy Fallon, or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
Hey, it's right there in the title. All these guys have teams of professional writers who help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late-night joke, and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Tom Brady is once again returning to the Super Bowl. Between Tom Brady and Joe Biden, what a month it's been for 78-year-old white guys.
Jimmy Kimmel. Seth Meyers.
Jimmy Fallon.
Tom Brady is once again returning to the Super Bowl. Man, between Tom Brady and Joe Biden, what a month it's been for 78-year-old white guys.
The Chiefs are going to their second straight Super Bowl in a row. I mean, that's why it's the second one. Going to their second straight Super Bowl in a row, led by their star quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, who is 25, the reigning Super Bowl MVP, and signed a deal for $500 million. He might be the only guy on earth Tom Brady would trade places with.
The Ted Smith. Yeah, Ted Smith.
Jimmy Fallon.
Meanwhile, the Chiefs are going to their second Super Bowl in a row, led by star quarterback Patrick Mahomes. He's 25. He's the reigning Super Bowl MVP, and he signed a deal for $500 million. He might be the only guy on earth Tom Brady would trade places with.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but some nature news. Shark attack numbers in 2020 were all over the place. Attacks actually were low, but the deaths were high. The sharks apparently got choosy with their time this year. Yeah, that's me. Shark attack numbers in 2020 were all over the place, but mostly in the ocean.
And in Florida.
See, I should have gone with that one.
Damn it. Florida had 58% of the shark attacks in the world this year. Just read that on CNN. I'm like, you've got to be kidding.
I know.
That's insane.
And sharks are dumber for
Not
it.
that they were fatal attacks, but
Sure.
I mean, if you look at Australia, those are fatal attacks. But still, it's a hell of a number.
The Patriots were like, thanks for the rings, Tom. We'll see you later. He signs up with the 7-9 Buccaneers, goes to Tampa, and now they're in the Super Bowl. And the Patriots are 7-9 and sitting at home. Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, was so upset he went to a massage parlor for a sad ending this time.
Oh, man, I want that to be
Come on, Ted.
I'm gonna go Jimmy Kimmel, though.
It's Kimmel.
Patriots are like, thanks for all the rings, Tom. See you later. He signs up with the 7-9 Buccaneers, goes to Tampa. Now they're in the Super Bowl, and the Patriots are 7-9 and sitting at home. Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, was so distraught he went to a massage parlor for a sad ending this time.
You're noticing a theme here today.
Yeah.
43-year-old Tampa Bay Buccaneers Tom Brady will be the oldest player to play in the Super Bowl, though he'll still be the youngest person in Tampa.
That sounds like Seth Meyers.
That's Seth Meyers.
43-year-old Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady will be the oldest player to play in the Super Bowl, though he will still be the youngest person in Tampa.
Jesus.
I've always wanted to go to Tampa.
Tampa's not bad, but he's right.
Yeah, it's definitely an older.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went to the Gulf of Mexico once, loved it. I thought it was beautiful. I was also a child. I should go back as an adult.
It's easier to swim in.
It is. There's sandbars. It's lovely out there. All right, we're talking about history. There was history made last night. Oh, geez. last week on Jeopardy. Now, it sounds kind of crazy, but there was a tie for only the third time it's happened in a regular game in the 48-year history of the show. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yep. Right. So Final Jeopardy, they both get it right. There's a tie. Actually, we have Ken Jennings here. He can, this is how it sounded when it happened live.
Now for our players tied for first, we'll start with Jack. He wrote down, who is Captain Cook? That's right. How much are you going to add? Wow, you're going to double it. $37,600. We go now to our returning champion, Brian Chang. His answer, who is Cook? He's going to add something. How much? Oh, $18,800 as well. Meaning, Brian and Jack, you are now tied, and we are going to play a tiebreaker. Our tiebreaker category will be history.
No.
Jack, Brian, pick up your signaling devices. I'm going to read one single clue. Whoever rings in first and responds correctly will win $37,600 and the game. Here is your tiebreaker clue. In October 1961, Stalin's body was removed from display in this other man's tomb. Brian.
It was Lenin.
That is correct. Brian Chang, you just won $37,600, and you are a 4-time Jeopardy champion.
Wow.
So that's what's kind of crazy. They don't go to another Final Jeopardy. It's just one more clue.
Right. I like that, though. Like, hey, man, sudden death. Here's the question. Go do your thing.
Yeah, when I first was like kind of glancing over this article, I assumed they were going to a second Final Jeopardy.
Right. You get to write it down, think about it.
What if they had to edit that and go back and look at the rules? You know what I mean? To come up with
maybe. I mean, it's the beauty of commercial breaks. Sure. You know.
I mean, I'm sure they know the rules because it's Jeopardy, but
if they've never been there before, like,
I would. Well, it was again. It was this is the third time.
Oh, the third time. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm with you. They clearly had to. You'd have to edit it just because the show's not supposed to go that long.
Right. You got to fit it.
You got to find another question.
And I noticed that Ken Jennings specifically, not only did he say ring in, but he said answer correctly.
And answer. I will say Ken Jennings has actually been doing a really good job.
Yeah, I think somebody probably was just like, make sure you say answer correctly.
Oh, I'm sure. He also strikes me as the kind of guy that should host Jeopardy because he's very matter of fact about how things go.
Yeah, you know what? I have not watched it much. But with that said, I used to watch Jeopardy, and for whatever reason, in the last year or two, I just kind of don't anymore.
Right.
I don't know.
I watch Teen Jeopardy.
Oh, I crush it, Dad.
I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on,
just
man.
gives me a better advantage.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of got out of watching Jeopardy. And then you saw the Alex Trebek stuff, but then it was so sad as you knew he was dying and he had already passed away. I was like, I don't know.
I don't want to watch that either.
Yeah, I don't want to check that out. All right, so Budweiser says they're not going to air a Super Bowl ad.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to use, basically, they're going to use and by the way, like we were talking about this, I think we were talking about it with Mike or whatever, but the Budweiser commercials are epic.
Yeah.
Right? You had the Bud Bowl,
right,
which was just the Bud Light versus Bud Light versus Bud Heavy and the bottles and this and that. And I mean, I remember being a kid, it was a big deal to watch the Bud Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had, of course, the Budweiser Frogs, Budweiser.
Mm-hmm.
The Clydesdales.
Of course. You know they're going to show up.
Yeah.
The What's Up Guys?
What's up, baby?
What's Up Guys? I mean, they've had a ton of stuff. Even back in the day, like, was Spud's Budweiser or was he Coors Light?
Spud McKenzie, right?
Yeah. I just remember I had a poster.
He was Budweiser.
Yeah, I don't, as a kid, it didn't really matter to me that he was sponsored by a beer. He was just a dog that surfed.
Yeah, he was
in a
great
Hawaiian
dog.
shirt. Was he Bud? Yeah. All right. So Bud's had great commercials forever. So now there's not going to be one this year. First time in 37 years, there won't be advertising during the Super Bowl. So they say they'll be raising awareness for the COVID-19 vaccine. Details are still a little vague. It's also kind of funny because they say Budweiser won't have a commercial.
They don't need to raise awareness. What they need to do is take whatever dollar amount that was and go to Pfizer and buy, 500 shots. Well, raise awareness. We know what's going on.
We know. It's
So-
been in the news.
Budweiser, again, this is where stuff kind of gets annoying. So Anheuser-Busch still has 4 minutes of advertising time during the game, which they're going to use for Bud Light, Michelob Ultra.
Oh, so they're saying Budweiser, the flagship.
They're just
beer.
saying Budweiser
All right.
itself,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah,
but you're still going to have, and then, right, so they're going to use it for Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, and then Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, which I hadn't even heard of yet.
No. But if you're going to do it, guys, just don't release them ahead of time. Because you do have some of the best.
To me, that ruins the whole.
Right.
They've already released. They have trailers now for the commercials. I mean, and it blows my mind. There's some today like 11 trailers for the commercial. Like, dude, they're commercials.
I just want to see it for the first time without a spoiler on it. Having scrolled through something and here's the new commercial from Doritos, I'd rather be surprised at who's in it or whatever it is, or no matter what. Like, you know, like.
Do you watch the commercials during the Super Bowl?
I do for the first, up until about halftime, because I figure that everyone's kind of just, after that, it's whatever.
I feel like I'm always getting drinks or whatever, or getting something else to eat during halftime.
I kind of used to, but the fact that they tell you who's in it or do a preview, it's like, because before it's that, you know, they build this hype, and I know it's a commercial. It's like, dude, you got to see it. It's funny or dramatic or whatever it is. But now that they release it in advance, like, if I need to see it, I'll watch it on
Ted,
Twitter.
I don't know about you, man, but anywhere I go, for the most part, just the way people's homes are now, where I get my dip and my chips, I can see the television. Where I make a drink, I can see the television. Where I get a bite of food, piece of pizza.
No, I know, but I just like, at the end of the day, like, the commercials were always good, and that was a massive thing of the Super Bowl. But, like, I don't think anybody in this room was always super fired up. It's like, yeah, you're more fired up about the game. So now that they release them early, and they don't all send out the whole 60-second ad, it is, like, for somebody like me, like, all right, I'll go online and watch it. And then there's other ones, you got to watch the commercial.
But my point would be this, is, right, so you have department, accounting, whatever, so like, hey, guys, we can spend however much it costs to advertise during the Super Bowl, and it's a pretty penny, we understand why. Or for free, we can put it on Twitter and say, this is what we would have aired during the Super Bowl. Honest to God, I think people would still watch it. We put together this commercial, which
online.
It's still a high production commercial, right? I mean, if you're going to do the Super Bowl, you still spent money to make the commercial good. So you're going to lose that cash. But the fact that everyone else is going to release it in advance, just say, hey, we didn't buy in the Super Bowl, but if we did, this would have been a variety.
We've been grilling up Spam like we're doing right now.
Right, but then you're still running the risk of, like, look, all I'm saying is this. And Bev is one of the biggest companies in the world.
Right.
They make like spending money and releasing them at the same time. There's a theory or a system behind it. Like, because there's a lot of people that still don't use the internet that much, and they'll see all these for the first time.
That is very true, but not the MBEVs. MBEV's fine. They make like $94 billion profit by the time they're done paying off for a year, right?
You're
but
right.
If I'm one of the smaller companies, you know, I feel like we have a product or a service that people would really, really react to, right? I don't know if we have the budget for the Super Bowl. Those are the people I'm talking about. Like, we would have done this, but we're going to put it, because people are already looking for it in advance and save the money. That's all. You know, MBEV is fine. But again, I always go back to Monster.com. They blew up because they spent the money on the Super Bowl. Granted, this is before social media. Sure. But now with social media, if you're the next Monster, like, we can hedge our bets and get judged by the Super Bowl, which becomes a different judgment place. Let's put the goddamn thing online. Make a big deal about it online and then finally present it. But why spend all of that money to advertise during the Super Bowl? That's what I mean. If you're middle of the road or you think you have a shot and your budget kind of relies on this, go on the internet.
Well, Coca-Cola, Hyundai, Audi, Avocados, Mexico, and Pepsi have also announced they're skipping this year's Super Bowl because of COVID-19. But Pepsi, again, is sponsoring the halftime show.
Right.
So you're going to see commercials for Mountain Dew.
Weekend, did they add anyone to that other than the Weekend?
I have not seen an updated list. Right now, it's just the Weekend, but generally the Super Bowl performance has other people kind of show up.
And it's more for TV anyway. I mean, we were there and we couldn't see it. So, like, and they were right there.
If you bring in a guy named The Weeknd, I'd also bring in, like, Till Tuesday. Like, any band that has a day mentioned.
By the way, if you're wondering, the cost of a 30-second slot is more expensive than ever this year. It's about $5.6 million per slot.
30 seconds?
30 seconds.
Wow. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why if I'm middle of the road company, I'm going on Twitter. Right?
Yeah.
Guys, save $5 million. Hope this thing goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that also tells us if we had spent $5 million, put it on during the Super Bowl, we'd have lost $5 million.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
New on Curiosity Stream, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
What if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
Oh, fiddle
sticks.
What, Wilbur?
We just got hit and I think my back has all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What? Pipe down, Clarence. Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What? Shut it, Clarence. If you get injured, the advocates get results.
AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. National lawyer is suspended after Facebook post on how to murder someone and make it look like self-defense. Meanwhile, a woman describes the horror of living with a 42-inch bubble butt, which is curvy and immense. Squirrel at University of Michigan goes viral after looking like it's never skipped a meal. Residents of nursing home see woman who died 10 days ago walk in and let out a squeal. And a rock that looks like the Cookie Monster expected to fetch $10,000. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, top story. A new geological discovery could net a $10,000 gain to the seller. The rock is a blue, agate that was found around Brazil, but experts say it could bring a pretty penny because of the character that it resembles. After busting the rock open and looking at the mineral bears an uncanny resemblance to the Cookie Monster.
That just shows you the power of Sesame Street worldwide. No. To see something there and know that that is a character.
Right.
Think about that.
Yeah. If you're skeptical about the price tag, he says he's already been approached by 5 different buyers, all offering that level of cash. I don't know if he's actually put it up like, hey, I'll give it to you for 10 grand. I think he's had 5 separate people come up to him and say, dude, I'll give you 10 grand for that rock.
I will say this. I would not give you 10 grand for that, but I saw it and it looks like the Cookie Monster.
It does.
Did you see this thing, Ted?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's crazy.
It does look like him.
Straight up.
Right. All he needs is just a little tiny cookie in his mouth. He's got a straight up open mouth, too. It's crazy. In other news, over in England, a woman had to be reminded by authorities about misuse of the emergency phone line. The woman had pulled into the local McDonald's at 11 in the morning and had to wait so long in the line that by the time she got to the intercom, she had reached the cutoff time and they were no longer offering breakfast.
Furious.
The woman called authorities to rant and rave about how upset she was. Nothing came of the call, but she was also advised not to call about trivial issues again.
It's ridiculous.
It is. I mean, I can understand you being upset, but at the same time, I don't know what your driving situation is, but when you show up at 11 o'clock in the morning, yeah, you're already cut it short.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they already posted times they do it, so it's not a mystery. We really need there's emotional support animals. You need the emotional support line. Don't bother the cops with this because this is stupid. You're just upset. And have someone, when you call, they pick it up and they say, thank you for calling, 211. And just, I wanted breakfast, and they close it off. Oh, man.
Right.
That does suck. I hear you. But you know what? Think positive. A cheeseburger still wouldn't be bad. I mean, to me, that's really what they need.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I get being upset because you were in the line, but I don't know. You're going to call the cops because you can't get breakfast sandwich?
Exactly.
I would also argue if that is the biggest problem you have in your life, you have no problems.
You're doing pretty dang good.
Yeah, you're fine.
Absolutely. I mean, you know what? When we were kids, they always talked about, if there's an emergency, call 911.
Right.
If you need help, call 911. And I get it. The problem is that day after day, I get news stories coming across my desk of people that don't know what an emergency is. So should we start saying, what's the number, Ted? 711? What's the non-emergency
311.
311.
It's 311. I feel like we should really start promoting that one as people grow up. Hey, if you need just maybe a hand with something, call 311 and see if it's actually worth it.
911 is danger.
Right.
311 is you're pissy.
Right.
You got your fifis hurt. We hear you.
If you need the cops to break up your squabble between you and your buddy that something went wrong, call 311.
Right.
Use 911 for if your leg's chopped off and you're bleeding out. Moving on. Meanwhile, over in Essex, a do-gooder took it upon themselves to inform police of some irresponsible actions during the pandemic. A 911 call would be needed here. Authorities received a call about the rave that was taking place outside of the Freemasons Hall with a handful of participants. What the authorities arrived on the scene to find was a massive group indeed, but it was a line of pensioners lined up outside the hall waiting to get their COVID vaccine.
What are old people?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
there's a big difference between, I would guess, a rave scene and a bunch of seniors getting a COVID
I'm not
shot.
saying seniors don't throw raves.
No,
I'm just saying if I drove by, I would not think under any circumstances that those people are going to a rave.
Remember, if ARP, you get 10% off your next rave.
There you go.
And they give you the glow stick.
Door prices are way down, man. Maybe they thought that they were lining up to go into the building to have the rave.
What time was it again?
That's a good question, Ted.
It was during the day. I mean, I saw a picture. It was not at night. It's during the day.
Right. Yeah, that's not really how raves work either.
Right. It's all old people. And they were obviously old people. You know, I mean,
That tells me that it was one of them that actually made the call. Because there's no way a young person was like, that's a rave going on over there.
Right.
We go to the lovely land of the internet where we have a new image going viral. Running amok on the internet is a photo that was posted to Instagram of a squirrel that was spotted in the University of Michigan campus. If you haven't gotten a chance to see the photo of the squirrel, the comment section tells you all that you need to know about the squirrel, with the main nickname being Sumo Squirrel.
Big, thick,
you guys see
fat
this? Here you go.
squirrel.
I got it for you here.
You already got it?
Take a look at this thing.
God.
Yeah, that thing is...
Loving life.
Yeah.
Give me a peanut.
That thing is 6 inches standing up or laying down.
He hibernates more than most squirrels.
Yeah, he's been stocking up.
That's right. It's been a long pandemic. He's gotten comfy.
It's a thyroid thing.
Got to imagine that he's having an issue actually just finding, handouts. Not near as many people walking around out there, so there's not much for him to pilfer anymore. So he's starting to go back to his natural diet, and it's making him fat.
No, he might have fewer people, but obviously they're giving him more.
That's right. It's just really good stuff.
Peanut. Here's an entire jar of Jif peanut butter, fatty.
Oh, no. Over in Jacksonville, a massive search was conducted. That's a lot of parents' worst nightmare. A man came home from work to find his front door open and his baby mama asleep in her room with one of his kids.
Oh.
The other, on the other hand, was missing.
Oh, no.
Authorities were called and a search was conducted for several hours using cars, canines, and even helicopters to put eyes on the kid. After hours that turned up nothing, he was found by a random driver at 6 o'clock in the morning. He was running around through a park chasing ducks.
All right. Hey.
I mean,
fun.
It probably turned out to be the best possible scenario of this, where the kid just walked out, found some ducks, he's chasing after them. The worst that's happened is that you are just scared the living hell out of yourself.
And you follow those ducks wherever they go if you're a kid.
Right.
Like when they start walking off, you just follow the ducks.
Exactly.
What's everyone worried about?
They took him to the doctor. He's totally fine. He's not hurt in any way, shape, or form. Again, the worst thing that happened here was a parent's got the living hell scared out of them.
What's the only toy a kid that age has when they go to their bathtub?
That's right, rubber ducky.
Rubber ducky. And Ducky's your friend.
Even some of those little lawnmowers that they push around with little poppers on them, they're duck shaped.
Right.
You guys ever had the ones with the feet?
No.
Oh yeah, the wheels actually have little. I hate to call them paper feet, but yeah, they're little like leather feet, and then they actually just roll in a circle and makes it look like the duck's waddling.
Look at Mike living large.
Yeah, I like the ones that have bubbles in them.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Popping like crazy, because that's the sound a duck makes. Those popping noises.
Popping bubbles.
Popping
tags, popping bubbles.
Boom! Off the coast of Florida, a woman got quite an outing on her boat. While out on the water, she had herself an encounter with a massive great white shark. She tells news outlets that the animal came up and out of the water and, quote, took a chunk out of one of our motors.
Jesus.
Says the animal took several passes by the boat and even letting occupants touch him.
Yeah,
What do you mean
one
let
was
them
rubbing
touch
the guy on top of the head there.
That's right. And that is it for headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less. The lovely Taryn Daly is up next.
Yes, indeed. It is all true, but in the meantime, we be all up out this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.